Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of July 13th, 2020. Every week, we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Erdix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
This week, we are complaining about a simplified look at simplification and obsessing about the impending empty nest. We're also taking a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today, we're talking about parenting and smartphone use. You know, smartphone use seems to be one of those things these days that people like to blame everything on. Anything going wrong in your life or your civilization or anything? It's smartphones! Smartphones are making our children dumber. Smartphones are keeping our children from sleeping. Smartphones are keeping us from sleeping. Smartphones. So apparently there's been some studies saying that smartphones make us worse parents, I guess because instead of tending to our little darlings 24/7, we are taking time off to play a game or, check Twitter. And I noticed on Science Daily this week a report on a study that, I followed the link to the actual study. I didn't take the word of the article. And there was a lot of science speak, and I am but a humble English major, so perhaps I'm not interpreting this fully, but it basically seemed to be saying, as long as you're not glued to Twitter 24/7, using a smartphone doesn't make you a worse parent. Most of the parent-shaming findings from other studies are flimsy. Calm down, everybody. It's fine. It's fine. And I love a study that says that, because usually what studies are saying is, panic, oh my gosh, it's terrible. This one is saying, we all got a lot on our plates. Yeah, go play a game of something. Really, your kid is going to be fine. And it got me thinking that in a lot of ways, the constant distraction and low-key wish fulfillment that smartphones offer, whether it's playing a game or shopping for something or talking to a friend whenever you want to just send somebody, hey, I had this funny thought, I'm going to text it to you or Facebook Messenger it to you. Maybe that makes us better parents, because really focusing on your kid 24/7 is not healthy for you or the child.
No.
And sometimes, your kid is doing something and maybe you should say something, maybe you should keep your mouth shut. And, you just go on your phone and you say, oh my gosh, look at what my kid is doing. And your friend LOLs. And the moment passes and you don't have to do anything and it's fine. And really you didn't have to do anything. I think that's healthy, don't you? I think I have used a phone as a stress release in situations like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had had it when my kids were younger, that probably would have been a good thing.
Right.
So, yay, smartphones. Not proposing this topic because I just got a new one. No. Yay, smartphones in general. And also, the absolute parent stress reliever of being able to track your kid on GPS.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is not as easy or fun on the computer. And they have to have the phone too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like you said, I enjoyed the general simmer down vibe of this
Yes.
studies report. And,
I gotta believe parents wrote it,
Mm-hmm.
and they just kept saying, like, if you want to draw these conclusions and say that smartphones are, the worst thing since unsliced bread or whatever, then you have to have more rigorous study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying, I saw a lady at the supermarket looking at her smartphone while her kid was grabbing their grubby hands on candy at the register.
Right.
That's
Which is
not evidence.
Kind of interesting because just from, informal observation, I don't really see too many parents, at least out in public, who are paying more attention to their phone than what they're doing. So I don't know if that is an accurate assessment of the situation, but
right. And you don't know. I mean, you see someone on their phone, maybe they're messaging with their doctor, or maybe they're looking up, something about their kid's development. It's just like, you just don't know.
You don't know.
It's possible that they're playing a game, but even if they are, that's okay too. When our mothers were kids, their mothers were certainly not playing with them and paying attention to them 24/7. Even when we were kids, it was like, be home by dinner time. See ya.
Exactly.
The smartphone is the new be home by dinner time. See ya. There.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch a movie on my phone. Behave yourself.
Honestly, I don't think, Okay, yeah, there's some repercussions of that, as evidenced by the number of therapists that are out there working. But
well, you can get a therapist on your smartphone
right.
too. Maybe that mom at the supermarket
is
an emergency. I'm having a panic attack. What do I do?
Right.
Yeah. I think for the most part, most parents are aware of their level of non-interaction with kids, give parents the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly no shortage of parent-child interaction in most households that also have smartphones. I mean, if anything, the kids need to be left to their own devices. And I don't mean devices as in actual devices.
Right. But sometimes that too.
Yeah.
Let's schedule some family smartphone time. We'll just all sit around the table and look at our devices. It'll be
well,
fun.
And I have my son sending TikToks to the whole family, and
yeah,
right. I mean,
we get that too.
You can use it as a togetherness.
Right.
My extended family does regular Zoom calls, and we have a text thread that's 12 people from our extended family. It's called Bitmoji Fam because we all use our Bitmojis on it.
Oh, fun.
So, that's fun.
Yeah. And I think I might have mentioned this before, but I sometimes use smartphone communication for a sort of emotion-free communication with a kid if tempers have gotten a little hot, to apologize for something when everybody's gone to their corners. And I think that's worked really well, better sometimes than in-person things when everybody's, defensive or upset. And also even just to, sometimes we need my son to come out of his room for something. And if we call for him, either he doesn't come or it's interrupted him in something and he gives a very snappish response that then escalates problems. But if I just text him, could you come out? He's able to see it and process it. And then, without that emotional context in between of somebody yelling. So even if you're yelling dispassionately, it's still yelling. So that's worked out really good. And I mean, I know that must sound terrible that you're texting your kid across the house, but there's some situations in which it's super useful. So I'm sure that's what parents are mostly using it for is, good parenting practices like that.
Well, and as they get older, it's just another way to be involved in their world, right? I mean, we talked last week about how, when we talked about childproofing, that it's important to follow your kid on social media. So obviously you need a phone to do that.
Definitely.
I mean, I think this study was really talking about younger kids, but still. Actually, it didn't say. Did it?
I'm not sure it did. Like I said, it was wrapped up in survey speak. Parts of my brain just shut down when they see that sort of sentence structure. But the conclusion that's here in the Science Daily article, which I concur with, says, we found very little evidence of problems and hope these data help move us towards more constructive and nuanced conversations about families' diverse experiences with technology, actual risks associated with parenting, and where we can best support. That should be the goal of all research, and it seems not to be.
I think Catherine's point earlier, though, was, in any generation, parents are consumed with one thing or another, right?
That's true.
I mean, it's just, it's life. And in the past, it could have been work or being out on the farm or, writing letters or, I think to pinpoint smartphones is probably, I mean, obviously this study was quite supportive, but I think, if you're just going to pinpoint one thing, you really can't.
Right. I mean,
we're doing so many things wrong.
It's very generational and very situational.
Yeah. So. But that's what leads each generation to look at the next generation and go, we didn't have that in my day. It must be bad.
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right.
As we will undoubtedly do one day when our children are parents.
Right. Well, it's a good thing they'll have all of our podcasts to listen to know what life was like for us. So,
yes, listening to podcasts, parenting podcasts, is an essential parenting tool that we use our smartphones for. So, thank goodness we now have the green light to go ahead.
And that is it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Rounded Out Chat.